Josephine is 3 and she's severely brain injured. Her brain has been affected in such a way that her motor control, that is, her movement, is affected. And her vision, the visual cortex, the part of the brain that interprets what the eyes can see, has been damaged as well. Never mind the chat. Right. We've come a long way, I suppose. We've come from the sort of shock of discovering the way Josephine was at the beginning. You're kind of coping with life and you're living life, but you're not really altogether there because you're still so shocked. We've become very strong for Josephine. You become an advocate for your child, you fight for your child, whereas at the beginning you're just sort of coping with having a child like this and you're crying a lot. I still cry.
Hi, wee girl. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes. Let's put your feet in. Ready. Stop it down. Good girl. That's it. And next one. There, please. Go. Good girl.
Most of my involvement with Josephine is actually sort of first thing in the morning and last thing at night. Because I have, I don't know whether you call it a privileged position, but I can do the one thing that Sheila can't do, which is close the door first thing in the morning and go to work. So I don't see as much of Jose during the week as Sheila certainly does. And I don't necessarily see all the difficult times. There's more of this around you than there is in you, isn't there? I think there's a lot of really positive things that Josephine has done for me and for us as a family. I mean, she's changed the way we think, she's changed the way we are together as a family. It can sometimes be very hard to come to terms with what's happened to Josephine and the way she is, and the fact that other friends come over, and some of them with kids the same age as Josephine, and they come running into the house and they talk, and you think, yeah, you know, Josephine isn't like that. But we get other things from Josephine.
Good day.
And you do get things back from her. You just have to know when she's responding. But once you learn what a response is from Josephine, she's a very loving child. I love that. I love coming home to that.
Bang. Oh, Justin, we're off to Woodside, your favourite place. Come on, let's open the door. Woodside is a place that I feel really comfortable in, where I've got a lot of friends who are sharing the same sort of experiences that we're going through, and we help and support one another, and provide stimulation and education for Josephine. It's something that we look forward to all week. It's familiar, it's consistent, and it's very comfortable. It's a very good place. It's a good feeling. If you're trying to do things at home, it's not as relaxing because it isn't as natural at home. You know, if you're with a 3-year-old at home, you'd be doing different things. You wouldn't be doing therapy, you wouldn't be stretching them or thinking that I must stimulate my child. I'll do 5 minutes stimulation. I mean, that's not normal parenthood. In Woodside, it caters for all of that. It caters for a normal parent relationship with your child, and also something that's dedicated to the stimulation as well. So it does everything, really. Oh, we're off for our afternoon hair appointment, where Josephine and I go along and have our communal beauty treatment. Because Josephine is very cute and very pretty, I think people tend to see that first before they see the disability. So they tend to react to her. It varies very much from, oh, which I hate, because that does 2 things for me. If I'm feeling down, it's liable to make me want to cry. Or if I'm feeling particularly up and, hey, this is okay, I'm really enjoying being mum and this is great, I think, well, hang on a minute, don't spoil my world. You've just stepped in and made it sad, and it isn't. I think the most difficult thing with strangers for me is that you become like public property when you're the parent of a disabled child. People think that they can make comments, and sometimes very nice comments, very kind, but they're entitled to say things to you that they would never say if I was walking down the road with a normal 3-year-old. They might say, oh, isn't she pretty? But they wouldn't step into my world and say something fairly personal, like, oh, isn't that a shame? What happened to her? Or will she be able to speak? Or they're very nice, concerned comments, and they are with the best possible intentions, but they prevent me from being a normal person, a normal mother. What is normal, Josephine? I don't know. You know, it takes us out of our normal world, because our world is, although it's a different world, it's a normal world. And we're entitled to our privacy the same as everybody else. Right, steady. We'd like to have another child. We recognise it's going to be very difficult for us to manage, but we are surrounded by parents at Woodside who do manage, who do cope, and who get a lot of benefits, a lot of happiness and pleasure from having other children. And we have our own life, which is a normal life for us, but it would be something that would be recognisable for other people, I suppose, as a normal life. Bath time is a lovely time. It's very peaceful, and it's something she's always enjoyed. And we've got this room sort of, everything's black and white, so she's got a better chance of seeing it. Seeing things, she can see her shower curtain, and got a lot of black and white toys. We've even got black soap, haven't we? It's often a time when she will communicate with me. It's just nice. I suppose the quality of the sound is different as well. She's very aware, aren't you? Yes. Yes. Are you trying to speak to me? And what are you telling me? What are you saying? I like that noise. I do. Are you saying you're hungry? No. This is the sort of thing that you get with a very young baby. Took us 3 years to get this. Yes. Are you chatting with me? You're going to make me cry with pleasure. I don't want to cry with pleasure, do I? Do I? It's wonderful because you're talking to me, aren't you? And you can get a word in edgeways. All right, steady. That was a fit. Very small one. Oh, Shelby, you didn't like it happening. Radio 5 on Radio 4. We don't like it when it happens, do we? It's interference. Oh, come on then. Ready? Steady. It can be a long day. Depends how we've paced the day, how much we've done. To some extent, I try and have things for her and things for me. They kind of counterbalance one another. And sometimes I get to the end of the day and I'm absolutely exhausted. It's very intense. You've got to put a lot in to get anything out. And it's hard work. Tonight, Peter will probably come in about, I don't know, half an hour's time, when we've finished, and Josephine's finished eating. And if she's not in bed, he will read her a story and spend some time cuddling her. Or they even might sit down in front of the TV for half an hour together and we just have cuddles. It's an opportunity for him to do that because otherwise it's only the weekends that he can do it. Well, this room, which will eventually be her bedroom as well when we're not carrying her up and down stairs, is her room that she can come into with me or with Peter or with anybody and enjoy some of the things that we've got here. This area here is really the sort of soft, fluffy corner. We might have stories in here. She might have a massage in this corner. Or just sit quietly with music on. The centre area of the room has got the ultraviolet light at a safe height, and we've tried to drop the ceiling using muslin curtaining. Many of these ideas have either come from looking at Jenny's room or the snoozling at Woodside. So we've tried to make our own mini version, really. So this is a room that can be quite noisy. We can do physio in here. We can be quite active, and we can equally be quite quiet and peaceful as well.
There's time for small girls. Ready, steady.
It's impossible to imagine what Josephine will be like when she's 12. I have no idea. In fact, I don't want to think about it in many respects because I'm not ready. I haven't gone through the transitional period of 9 years. So to try and project it's next to impossible, which is just as well. It's probably an emotional block as well. You just don't want to, don't want to think about it. So I can't. I think when she becomes older, I'm going to have to try and move into what would be more natural with an older child. She's got to get into her world and make something of her world, and by clinging to mummy and daddy and being cuddly and sweet is not going to make that happen. And that will be very difficult, because she will be so needy, and yet we will need to say to her, come on, this is your world, get into your world and live your life, which is, I think, what Mandy and Derek have done with Jenny as far as they possibly can. We know we're not going to have a child that's going to run around the house and scream and laugh and do the things that normal children do, but we also know we have a child who's receptive to the right environment, who will make something of her world in her limited way. And we'll have to learn to deal with that and grow with that. And I suppose this is our world, this is our normal world, and we've got to learn to live with that.